Hello, my name is Esmond Lewis and I am one of two CCEA directors. Collier County Education Association represents the interest of Collier County public school teachers. In addition to this role as director, I serve as the interim bargaining chair in the place of Pamela Baldwin, who is unfortunately on medical leave battling cancer. Please send a prayer up for Pam and her family to overcome this dreaded disease. CCEA's advocacy for you is based out of the collective bargaining agreement between the CCEA and the school district. This document is sometimes referred to as the CBA. The CBA is essentially a contract, and it concerns compensation and working conditions for Collier teachers. It governs things like planning, discipline, teacher rights, student removal, plan time, assessments, evaluations, transfers, grievances, leave, insurance, supplements, and the most popular issue, compensation. CCEA works on behalf of teachers who are members of the union and those who are potential members. The work of unions is more than insurance if you're involved in a disciplinary investigation. We also build strength from your unity, and we take that strength to advocate for better working conditions and higher pay for each and every one of you. Here is what this response will not be. This response will not respond directly to board member comments. The CCEA bargaining team is negotiating with the district's bargaining team and not individual board members. Any comments or issues we have with the proposals made by the district's bargaining team or the tactics they have employed is against that bargaining team. If I were a board member, I would want to know specifically what my team is doing in my name. Over the past 3 years that I've worked for CCEA, through diligence and hard work, we have agreed to settlements of $2,280, $4,000, and $3,000 respectively over the last 3 years. The choice this year made by the district's bargaining team to offer CCEA a $385 salary increase was a tactic. I hope that they had more authority from the board and simply chose to offer less, because board members have stated publicly that they are prepared to offer teachers more money than the state increases. If that's the case, then we expect the board's team to follow that directive. I'm going to do my best to be brief in this address. However, it's important to have a baseline understanding of our collective bargaining agreement and the process of making changes to the CBA, including raising salaries and other compensation each year. This video will have section markers to skip to certain sections, but I would encourage you to hear me out about the basics. After some background information, I will answer some frequently asked questions that we are aware of, and it is our hope that this video will bring clarity to where negotiations are at the present. As teachers, our strength comes from our unity. Okay, a little about the basics. The collective bargaining agreement is a contract between two parties, CCEA and the school district. As with all contracts, one party cannot change the contract by itself. All changes to the contract must be agreed to by both parties. I'll repeat, all changes to the contract, including salary, must be agreed to by both CCEA and the district. Every year, we negotiate salary and compensation out of Article 12 of the collective bargaining agreement. Every third year, we negotiate issues involving the entire contract in what's called a full book bargain. We are currently in one of those full book bargaining years. We could, in theory, negotiate multi-year agreements, but to date, the district has not yet expressed a willingness to do so. As I've stated earlier, I'm going to answer a few frequently asked questions that we are aware of in the hope of bringing everyone up to speed to where negotiations are. Thank you so much for your attention. Question: did the district's bargaining team present the TSIA money as a salary proposal? Answer: yes. The district presented its $385 salary increase as a counteroffer at the September 24th meeting. CCEA presented its initial salary proposal on August 21st. There were bargaining meetings on September 10th and September 16th, and the district failed to provide a salary counteroffer at those meetings, and it did not do so until the September 24th meeting. The district first informed CCEA of the Memorandum of Agreement during a phone call on September 18th. On the morning of September 24th, CCEA advised Andrew Brown, the district's bargaining chair, that CCEA wanted to be presented with a complete compensation package, including funds from all sources. CCEA has never in its history agreed to a partial salary proposal. CCEA has not rejected the MOA. Rather, CCEA wants to see the district's entire salary proposal, and we hope that the district's team provides a complete salary proposal at the upcoming October 16th meeting. Question: the district's salary proposal stated, quote, "After a tentative agreement is signed by the district and CCEA, both parties will continue negotiations around additional salary compensation above and beyond the growth portion of the TSIA." Why wouldn't CCEA just sign the tentative agreement? Answer: because it could be illegal and could potentially violate Florida law. In addition, it's not good negotiating strategy to agree to negotiate in the future without more definite terms. Signing a partial agreement and continuing negotiations later is known as bifurcating the ratification process, which is prohibited under Florida law. CCEA cannot agree and will not agree to piecemeal ratification. The law requires the full compensation package to be presented and agreed upon by both parties as a whole. If CCEA were to agree to that partial salary package, that partial agreement could be deemed the entire salary agreement by law. Furthermore, in the current negotiations, the district has never provided or proposed any additional money beyond the TSIA funds. The district's statement about continuing negotiations is not a guarantee. Promising future discussions after a tentative agreement is signed is a tactic. There is no contractual obligation to agree to any additional money. And I would just say this: we are literally at the negotiating table. Let's negotiate. Now for now. Question: what's the history behind salary negotiations in Collier County, and why does CCEA seek to challenge the district's salary offer when starting teacher pay in CCPS since the 21 school year has increased from $47,720 to $57,000 in the 24-25 school year? Answer: because that growth did not come easily, and this year is no different. In the past 3 bargaining years, Collier teachers have received base salary increases of $2,280, $4,000, and $3,000. CCEA has consistently had to push back against low initial offers from the district's bargaining team. The increases in starting teacher salary over the past 3 or 4 years were not simply given. They were hard fought. For example, in the 2023 bargaining session, the district's initial salary offer was a $750 increase to the base salaries to all grandfathered teachers. This had been the lowest initial offer to Collier teachers since 2022. This year's initial offer of $385 is even lower than that one. Collier County is one of the most costly counties to live in the state of Florida. With the rising cost of living and inflation, salary to Collier teachers must reflect this reality. Collier County is a donor county. 87% of CCPS funding comes from local sources, such as property taxes and sales tax. We expect the district's salary offer to include the local portion of those funds, in addition to the state's portion. The district's administrative center is named after Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. One of my favorite quotes from Dr. King is that the time is always right to do what is right. I hope that the district's bargaining team honors Dr. King's words and does what is right by Collier County teachers. They have earned the district an A. And now it's time to give them respectful pay. Thank you so very much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you at the October 16th bargaining meeting.